And she got a small policy, and her beneficiary was her stepdaughter. And then sometime maybe during the summer, she got a service report saying that uh, the payment didn't go through. She tried to call the lady, she couldn't get through. And so she was like, okay, I guess, maybe she just decided to drop it or something. And then a few months later, like maybe last month or yeah, like very recently, she looked at her like commission reports, and it didn't say like lapsed anymore. It said deceased.
Ooh.
And so that was the woman who had passed. But I guess what Lincoln Heritage did, because the stepdaughter, she reached out to them and they said, yeah, we're going to close the account soon because we've tried to reach out to the beneficiary and we haven't heard from her. And Quinn was like, can I call her? So she called the beneficiary, the stepdaughter, and um, she was like, yeah, I knew that she had this policy, but it's only like $4,000. So I wasn't going to do anything. And Quinn was like, well, I know when I talked to her, I know. I know when I talked to her, it was really important to her that she was able to do at least a little bit of something for you. It, all you have to do is just get the death certificate, and it's not that much issue. Quinn kind of talked her through it. So the stepdaughter said, okay. Basically, what had happened was Lincoln Heritage wasn't informed that the client had passed. They actually go through the obituaries and they compared it with the like lapse policies. And that's how they knew that the client had been deceased.
Cow.
And they were trying to reach out to the beneficiary to pay the claim. So they did so much extra work to be able to notify this family and make sure that they were able to pay the claim on this. And that just gave me goosebumps when Quinn told me this. So I wanted to share it with the group because I know that we work for an amazing company who really cares about their clients, but I didn't realize that they went to this type of level.
That's above me. I've never in my quarter of a century doing this. I've never heard that. I've never
Yeah.
heard of a life insurance policy doing that. And I know I've thrown the statistic out there, Dalton. You haven't heard this before, but they have predicted there's over $7 billion of life insurance that goes unclaimed every single year. Policies are put in a drawer. Somebody says something like it was only $4,000. Like, I don't care if it's 2 grand. Your family put that in place for you to
Right.
for that purpose. So that's pretty incredible. That's a
Yeah.
story to tell your clients and stuff like that as well. Now you got FCGS, but you got the company that's scouring, looking to make sure that the Lincoln pays out. What insurance
Yeah.
company does that? We want to pay out money to somebody that didn't even notify us to use their benefit. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's the only way that they knew, was that they go through the obituaries
Jeez,
and matched it with this client that Quinn had. And
awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Barb. That's really cool. Very,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I was
that's
just curious, just a
go
little
ahead.
bit.
Yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
how did the beneficiary not know? I was just curious. How did they not know about the plan in place? Were they just not informed, or did they
No,
not?
she knew about it. She just was, it was, she told Quinn, because Quinn got in touch with her. The beneficiary called her back, and she told Quinn, she's like, yeah, I knew she had the policy, but I'm just really busy and it didn't seem worth my time to go and get the death certificate and submit it to Lincoln Heritage and do all of that. And so Quinn was like, I know when I talked to her that it was really important to her that this was like her final parting gift to you. And I can help you kind of go through that process of getting the death certificate so that they can approve and pay out the claim. And so the stepdaughter did that once Quinn had reached out to her. But when it was just on her own without anybody kind of reaching out to her and helping her, she she knew about the claim. She just decided she wasn't going to go through the steps necessary to get the claim paid.
Who
Wow.
informed? Um, Was it Lincoln Heritage or?
So Lincoln Heritage did call her once to because they'd found her name on in the obituaries and they had reached out to her to just like say, hey, do you want to get this claim started? But she never called them back. But because Quinn had called her initially when she first sold the policy, the stepdaughter didn't answer the phone, but called her right back after she left a message. And Quinn then talked to her and helped her do the rest of it so that they could get the claim paid.
Okay then.
Yeah, that's a heck of a story and a testimonial for Lincoln for sure. It's pretty awesome. Thanks for
Mhm.
sharing that, Barb.
Yeah.
Appreciate that for sure. All right. Anybody else have any good news? Something they'd like to share? You guys never have any good news. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Well, I mean, your good news could be you woke up this morning. Your good news could be all kinds of things, all right? Let me get here to the screen here. All right. Well, my good news I had another great walk this morning and got to be one with nature, and it's awesome to be able to get out there and hear the frogs and the crickets and see the deer and them not run away from me. I'm thinking I'm going to try to turn them into deer chili. And I have some absolutely incredible pictures. I'll actually share them on Discord. I know not everybody hops on there, but they're kind of cool. Too neat not to share, as a matter of fact. So before I go too far into this, um, let me ask the question this way. Is there anything out there that is slowing you down, either from last week to this week, that you feel like you could ask the question or maybe get some help from your peers or myself this morning? Let me rephrase my question. All right, you guys are a bright bunch this morning.
Mm,
All right.
I was gonna say, something that happened for me yesterday was I think me and you talked, and I had someone who she first off she was had that hepatitis C,
Hmm.
um, and didn't know that that would be flagged even though it was outside of her 2 years. And so she decided not to go with it.
Yeah. And
And no
I,
wait,
go
gets
ahead, Mary. Sorry.
the doctor's letter.
Hmm.
Then I'm in a position of not knowing kind of like when to reach out to her, how to make a plan with her, like telling her what to do, you know, but trying to guide it in a direction of her actually following through on her end, um, rather than me just leaving it and not happening, you know. Uh, so yeah,
Let me
but
add to that, Mary. First of all, you've been calling from the home. You're doing a fantastic job, and keep doing it. Call myself, call Ben, whatever the case you need help with. Let me throw this out there. Um, Hepatitis is something that doesn't go away. And I was hoping you usually call after your call, so you didn't, and I was going to call you and got busy, so I apologize for that. That lady, if it was hepatitis, she's still taking a medication. Hepatitis doesn't go away. And when she couldn't get the premium and stuff that she wanted, because she even said, remember I asked her what's in your budget? She said $100. You found something at 80 and it still wasn't enough. Then she said it wasn't enough coverage and it was only a couple $1,000s difference. Um, I'm hoping that you hear back from her, but I think the medication she's taking for hepatitis is an active medication. Once you get hepatitis, you have to take a medication, I believe.
There's not a, I thought there was a cure for hepatitis C.
I think you still take, well, it depends on which one was it Hep C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
she said she took medicine, I think for it was like 12 weeks, and then it was like a done medicine, and then it's gone, she said.
Yeah.
Because I've had this problem too. And Lincoln said if they can prove that they don't have it anymore, then they can more than likely, I guess, switch it to final expense. So in these situations, I've tried to because more it's these people they don't rush to get to the doctor. So I try and get them a modified plan. Let's put this in place so you at least have coverage. And then whenever you're able to get that note, we can switch it over to this.
Which
But at
is what
least
I did. Yeah.
coverage in place because it's really hard to make someone go to the doctor and do this because they take their good old sweet time and maybe they never do it. But at least they'll have something in place in the meantime.
Yeah. And that's exactly how Mary tried to position that as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
ask a question?
sure.
Which category does hepatitis fall under as far as like the health questions? Because
Liver.
I would not have flagged
Doesn't. It's medication and it's what other things that hepatitis can cause.
It's a liver disease, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to. I just didn't know like which category it would fall under. So thank you.
Good. Learned something today.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff. Thanks, Mary, for sharing that. And keep calling when you're in the house. Keep doing a good job. Let me ask you guys this question. What outcome, because I know I'm asking your goals, what outcome do you guys want to accomplish this week? Again, and we're not going to do a voluntold, but if there's something you guys want to accomplish this week individually.
I want to write 7 policies.
Well, you did that last week.
Same. I'm gonna hop on that boat.
I love it.
I want to write some immediate business and get over 10,000 this week.
That is a great goal because we got 2 weeks left. I guess this is the third quarter of the month. That's a great one for sure. All right, I'm just trying to rephrase my questions to maybe open you guys' minds up a little bit. I know it's 8 a.m. and you guys have to bear me for 30, 40 minutes, but yeah, just want to see if there's any way that I can help or maybe reshape or reframe your thinking from that standpoint. So anyway, I am going to post my pictures in Discord, so I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I do. All right, as we get started, obviously our mission statement is to inspire and nurture our teammates to exceed their goals one person, one family, and one neighborhood at a time. Dalton, well, this is your first official meeting that you've attended, so you kind of see the mix, and this is why I say all the time, even at training, like you gotta stay by the fire, because if you don't, it gets really lonely out there. And it can get tough. So stand by the fire is, being here, attending the meetings, asking questions. And if you're running into something that you can't help, don't try to do this on your own. I know Ben and I say this a lot, but this is a tough thing to do by yourself. It really is. So don't put yourself in that situation. If you have any questions, feel free. We're here to help you and obviously support you. So good stuff there. All right, just flew right by that for whatever reason. If you have any administrative tasks, guys, take care of them. I'm not getting any alerts or anything like that. I see your administrative tasks when they come in as well. To be honest with you, I don't look at them because I know you guys are going to take care of them. But if I start seeing a larger influx, if you need help, let me know. I'm happy to help with those things. And Chandra and Ernest at with Memorial Gardens, they try to look into these things to help us as well. So in reference to the contest that's going on, obviously we have a couple people that are on pace to exceed that 10K. They're giving away 2 iPads again, back-to-back month, 2 styluses and 2 cases. So 10,000 gets you an entry. It's a drawing, so everybody, one entry could win it. 15K and above, you guys will see that. I'll continue to post that the rest of this month, and hopefully one of you guys gets in the drawing, and a couple of you guys get in the drawing and have an opportunity to win it. Our next boot camp is going to be November 21st, Friday, November 21st at the office. I have a special treat for you all that's going to be personally made, so I will check to see who's going to come, so I don't want to waste money or waste it because it is something that's edible, but I'm not going to go on all that. You guys you'll enjoy it. So anyway, 21st will be our next boot camp, obviously at the office. Looking forward to all that can attend. Our next boot camp will be Thursday. I know we have them on Friday, but will be Thursday, October 30th. Come one, come all, 9 to 4. Obviously, we'll go back all the way through the basics, all the way through completing the application, etc. So before you get out there and start maybe getting off path, we want to try to pull you back in. Again, Thursday, October 30th at the office will be our next Unity Life Group boot camp. Just as a reminder, I know daylight savings time is coming. Whenever the new times come, we'll make the adjustment. But as of now, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Central is verification. Saturday is 9 to 4. So got plenty of time to go out there and make it happen. $8,000 is what it takes to get to the newsletter. There's several of you guys that are on pace to do that, which is pretty awesome. Get your name up in lights and be among the top performers in the country. So $8,000 will get you into the national newsletter. I want to let you guys know how the point system works. I don't cover this all the time. I don't post it all the time, but just let you guys know how things go for Agent of the Month. So 2 points for every policy or every family you help. 2 points when you add AD&D. 2 points for attending the meeting. And an additional 3 points when you make sales over the weekend. And then, of course, if you don't have rep card yet, you're at your daily activity tracker. So you can simply text that in to me on Sunday. I won't total it until Monday morning, but to get all that stuff out there to you all, because I don't work on Sundays, I'm like Chick-fil-A, I guess. But yeah, that's how it works. 2 points for policy, 2 points per AD&D, 2 points per meeting attended, 2 points for weekends, at any sale over the weekend, weekend warrior sales. And then when you send in your weekly activity tracker or rep card, it is tracked and then added to points in there. All right, anyone have any questions about that? Perfect. All right, so let's get into the numbers. In reference to activity from last week, we got Miss Barb leading the way, but we'll start from the bottom up. Mary with 23, Ben with 54, and then, of course, Barb out there crushing it with 86 activity points last week. For those of us that are new, a reminder for us that have been here for a little while, 20 points a day is what you should be shooting for. That equals 100 points a week, 400 a month, will net you 10,000 or get you to 10,000 plus for AP. 30 points in a day, which is tough to do, but it's possible. 30 points a day, 150 a week, 600 points per month. That's 15,000. And I can tell you guys, somewhere between these two, 4 and 600, actually probably closer to 3 to 600, is going to get you over 20. That's just how it works. All right. Doesn't matter if you're in Illinois, Missouri, Texas, Arkansas, it works the same. All right. In reference to yesterday, and of course that didn't show up. So let's refresh here real quick. Yesterday, I can tell you what it was. Not sure why that happened, but let's see here. Go to rep card really quickly. Yesterday's totals were Barb with 1, Mary with 6, and Ben with 15. And I'll get that posted out there to group me. So great job to you guys that had activity yesterday. And again, those that don't have rep card yet, please make sure that you're filling out your daily activity trackers and going from there. All right, let me refresh this really quick, you guys. I'm not sure what's going on here, but anybody have any questions? Dalton, I know this is your first meeting and some of this stuff is probably new or foreign to you, but I want to make sure we're all
No
good.
questions yet.
Perfect. Perfect. Yesterday, just so you guys know, as I'm filling back in here, I had 6 interviews on the books. It actually did 4. 2 of the 4 will be probably joining the team, extended offers to them and all that kind of stuff. So, and then I had another 3 that I invited to over the last couple of days that were invited to the seminars. So we should be adding a couple new teammates here shortly. And right here on cue, Barb with 1 yesterday, Mary with 6, and then Ben with 15. Great job, you 3. All right. 36 weeks in a row. Even wrote an application a week he's on vacation. Been absolutely fantastic job. And I hope you don't feel like this is just kind of falling on deaf ears, like, oh, okay, you just wrote another app. 36 weeks in a row is absolutely incredible. The consistency, the persistency, the willingness to go out and do what it takes, the willingness to help others, the willingness to protect these families when they'll need it the most. And going back to even what Barb was talking about just shortly, just being able to, know that you're representing a company that's literally going out and saying, these people, we think this person died. We're going to reach out to the family member and try to pay this claim. It's pretty awesome. And you're an antithesis of that. So, Ben, congratulations. 36 weeks in a row is absolutely tremendous. And keep up the great work. Keep up the great work. All right. Miss Barb is 1 week away from 13. Barb, which is crazy. 12 weeks in a row, another just absolutely fantastic work that you're doing. And guys, Barb, she tells me this stuff, and then she's probably going to not tell me anything ever after this. But I just, what you do in private gets praised in public, right? Barb literally went to Columbia, Missouri to help another Lincoln teammate that's not on her team. She makes 0 compensation for, and went and helped this person, right? And I don't know this for sure, so I'm gonna be careful how I say this. I'm not sure what's happened, that the manager wasn't willing or didn't have the time, or maybe schedules didn't align. But Barb went to Columbia, Missouri, you guys, to help someone that's not on her team, got absolutely nothing for, but just the benefit of helping another human being, right? And this person went and wrote 3 applications the very next week. Barb, I tip my hat to you. That's absolutely tremendous. It's amazing. I don't want those type of things to go unnoticed because it's easy to focus on the negative, right? But 12 weeks in a row and actually going out and helping somebody else is tremendous. It shows your heart, it shows the person you are, and we're blessed to call you a teammate for sure. So congratulations on your 12 weeks and going out and helping somebody else that you didn't have to do it. And you've done it here too, like countless times. So keep up the great work. We appreciate you. Awesome stuff. All right. Okay, so he didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Ben, I don't know if you knew this or not, but you have the #2 best week ever. That Gen week's going to be pretty tough to crack, but
Yeah, 3 apps too.
two of them were over. One was 3,000 and another one was 4, I think, something like that. But yeah, 67, 64. You want to talk about the key to consistency? And Dalton, if there's anybody on here that you want to listen to that you have direct access to, it's Ben. You have him at your disposal. You have me at your disposal. You can pick up the phone and call. But I beg of you just to listen to what he's saying to you, because I promise you, he's not just talking about it, he's doing it. $6,764 last week, 7 applications, 32 units of AD&D. Ben, absolutely tremendous job. And think about it. I mean, we've only really been growing for probably 6, 7 months. So, the sky's the limit. And Ben, your name's on here multiple other times, but all of us have the same opportunity to go out there and do what Ben's doing. He's working the same leads, working the same territory, working the same areas. It's just a matter of going out there and making it happen, right? So, Ben, I have a question for you. And guys, our training will be quick today. We're probably going to be out here in the next 10, 15 minutes, just so you know. But how does one get to 67, 64, and 7 applications in a week?
Going out and knocking doors. It gets easier. You get better the more you do it. So like when I first started, I was guns a-blazing, knocking on as many doors as possible, going back to the same people over and over and over and over again until basically you come to a final resolution. So like if you're knocking on a door, you go there 3 times, you haven't seen them, that lead's still live. That every time you go there, you want to go there like it's the first time you've ever been there, because to them it is. So you've never seen them. So I know it can get like if you've been somewhere 3 times and you haven't seen them, and then you're going your 4th time and you're like, oh, they're probably not here because they're never here. But they might be, and that's that's going to be your first contact with them. So you got to treat it that way, having a good attitude with it. And then the more you do that, constantly going out, you're knocking on as many doors as you possibly can every day. You get better. You're going to make mistakes at the door, and then you get back in your car and you're like, okay, well, what did I do? Could I have done something better? Sometimes no, sometimes people are just jerks, but maybe there is something a little bit that you could have tweaked, that maybe you could have said before they were a jerk that could have softened the situation. Sometimes that's possible. Just constantly thinking about what you can do better, not changing.
There we go.
But still sticking to the process and still sticking to the same things that you say at the door. But sometimes you can maneuver after they start talking, but you want to always start the same way. And if you continuously do what Corey has taught you in the classroom over and over again, good things happen, and you just get better.
That's right.
And
yeah, I need to keep it simple because it is, right? It's not easy what we do, but it's very simple. So, Ben, I tip my hat to you, brother. Thank you for that. You didn't know I was going to put you on the spot with that, and I wanted it to be genuine. So, 67, 64 is a heck of a week. 7 families protected, 32 units of AD&D, and it sounds like your goal this week is 7. So, and Mary said she wants in on that too. I hear you, Mary. You guys go get it. All right, last couple things, and then we'll get into to the training. Where we sit so far for the month, 21,646. So we're on pace for right at 39,000, which is decent for our team size. Like again, we've only been growing for the last several months, and then adding quality people like Dalton and Cody and some other people that are coming. It's just going to continue to grow. But we got Miss Michelle Bryan at 933. We got Mary at 2781. Great job, Mary. Mary, you still could hit your first newsletter, and I know you're out there working hard. We got Marnita Stafford that had a huge day yesterday and is now in the 3rd spot with $4,407. And then we've got the OG sitting at 53.19. Obviously, we'll be getting her newsletter back to back to back months as well. So be the first one. Congratulate you there, Barb. And then, of course, the living legend, Mr. Ben Stratton is second, $7,582. Obviously, we'll be hitting his next newsletter as well. I think it'll be 4 or 5 in a row for Ben. So keep up the great work, you guys. Again, sitting at 21,646. And obviously, we're in the third quarter, so we have 2 weeks left of the month of October. All right. In reference to yesterday, we had Ben that went out and did an upgrade on one of his policyholders, which is fantastic, 324. And then we had Barb that, again, with Quinn, split an app with Quinn, just over $1,800 app. So congratulations, Barb. Again, it pays to help, right? And just never know. You're just doing things in silence and helping people, and it benefited you as well. So Barb at 926 to get us started for the week, a total of $1,253 and 2 families protected so far for the week. Obviously, a huge day set up for today. So our training today, make sure this is not going to do anything silly. Okay, perfect. So this is, you can pull this information from our website, the unitylifegrouptraining.net. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the resource section, top right-hand side, competing product comparison sheet. So I'm going to cover these very quickly. We'll take goals and then see if you guys have anything else you need from me, and I'll get you guys about your Tuesday. You don't use this much, but when you do run into, maybe somebody says, I have, AARP, or, I'm looking at, Mutual of Omaha or Globe Life or whatever the case is, this is your comparison sheet, okay? Level premium just means that they pay the same premium from the time that policy goes into effect until they either pass away or the policy terms or they turn age 100, right? And the policy matures. Level benefit means that their premium or their benefit stays the same, right? So if they get a $10,000 program, it stays the same, okay? First day coverage means that your coverage is first day, which means there's no waiting period, and you even have the ability to get that policy either the ability to get it first day or first day coverage is not available. You can see Colonial Penn, every policy they sell, unless it's been changed. And we have a lot of Colonial Penn here in St. Louis, you guys, a ton of Colonial Penn that you guys will run into. So we'll do another training on that here coming up soon. But first day coverage, permanent coverage means that it's whole life coverage. It's in place the rest of their life. It's not a term policy. And then cash value simply means that it's building cash value. So I'm just going to run over a couple of these that you will run into in the field quite frequently. And then if anyone wants to add to the conversation, you can. So Colonial Penn, that at least to my knowledge, everything they do is going to be graded, right? Either 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever the case is. Level premium. So what that means is the premium never goes up, never goes down. Okay. Level benefit, whatever that benefit level is, it's level. So even if it's first year, second year, third year, that is still a level benefit based on what tier they're in. All right. For day one coverage, it is not day one coverage. They have a wait. It is permanent coverage because it's whole life and it does build cash value. All right. I'm only going to cover a couple of these. The other one I'm going to cover is Globe Life because you will run into Globe. All right. So with Globe, you see that it is level premium. Benefits are level because it is whole life. First day coverage, they do have the availability to have first day coverage. And then a lot of what you'll run into with Globe Life, you guys, is a little flyer that I just got in the mail the other day. I'll take a picture and send it to you. But a lot of Globe Life stuff, you guys might not know this, is sold through employers with an employer paid option. And sometimes what happens with that is the reason I listed this as not permanent. If they offer it through the employer and they leave that employer, they can convert it, but it is not permanent. Does everybody understand what I mean by that?
When
Okay.
does it end?
Say that
Does
one
it
more time.
depend?
Well, here's what happens. So if they leave that employer and that employer is paying for it, it'd be just like if we were all working W-2 jobs and our employer offered life insurance and we took it. When you leave, some policies offer conversion or portability. Okay. Most of the time, what happens with these Globe policies, not that they're not good policies because they are, but what happens is if the employer is offering when they leave, most people don't port or convert them. That's what happens. Okay. So essentially in that scenario, you're talking like, even though it's whole life, it's basically a term policy. It's only as good as long as that they're there at the employer. All right. And at that point, it's not building any cash value.
And it's usually termed to 80,
That's
and then
correct.
the premiums raise every 5 years.
Every 5 years. That's exactly right.
So
That's,
usually people cancel it because the premiums will be almost $200 for a term product.
yep.
So then they're reaching out.
And the last one I'm going to, thank you, Benji, for sure. And that's a spot on. The last one I'm going to cover can be very confusing. Okay. And you will run into this from time to time. I think I talked to you guys one on the phone the other day and somebody was looking at this. AARP. AARP used to be for people ages 50 and older. There's a new CEO, brilliant lady, that's doing things there now. And from their marketing standpoint, they've changed a lot of things. I'm not going to cover all these, but here's what I will explain to you with AARP. AARP is doing things even as simple as my commercial auto policy on my vehicle is through Hartford.
Hartford, yeah.
And Mutual of Omaha, excuse me, Hartford. I don't know why I said Mutual of Omaha, through Hartford. My commercial policy for my auto is discounted, and I got AARP for $12 for the year. And it had nothing to do with my age. It just so happened to be that was a marketing thing that they had. So think about that. I just turned 50, and I've had my commercial policy for several years. And when I moved to the new company, that discount was available. So AARP used to be just for seniors, people between the age 50 and older, but it is not anymore. So these policies are all different based on what tier they're in or what they're looking for, right? And I can't tell you what all the breakdown, I used to be able to do that. I can't tell you what all those tiers are. But if you look across the board, just take some time. There's a lot of no's in here. So when you're talking to a client and they say, I'm going to go with AARP, just ask them, well, which program? And you can simply pull this out and then just verify what it is that they have or what they're trying to enroll in. All right. Does anyone have any questions?
I
Yeah.
do.
Go ahead, Barb.
Sorry. So first of all, if you could clarify what it means under the permanent coverage for the AARPs for no/group, and that if they're not permanent coverage, how they accumulate cash value.
Okay. Two things. Depends on how they're written. So I'm going to answer the first one first. No/group. What that means is it can be offered as an individual. You can buy it as an individual. So they'll send you something in the mail. You can fill it out, send it back, and then you call them on the phone. And they do all the stuff, right? So that permanent would be no. The second thing that they do, or it could be yes too. Let me go back, take a step back. The second thing is this group, just what I was just talking about, right? They'll do, and Benji obviously knows this. They could sell this. A broker could come in and offer AARP, right, attached to another product that they have. That makes it a group product. So from that standpoint, there's no cash value because it's really a term policy, right, written on a whole life chassis. The other part of that is it just depends on how it's offered, if it's going to be cash value or not. So I should have put, for the cash value portion, I should have put, or yes/no.
Okay.
So it just depends on the term. Let me give you an example. I have AARP now. They send the things, I've never opened it, never cracked it, never used it. I should probably do it to save the 10% of my coffee, right? But here's the deal. If I move my commercial auto coverage, right, from Hartford, guess what happens? My AARP stays in place, but the next year, if I don't pay directly to AARP, right, and I leave Hartford, my AARP goes away. Okay. What was your second question, Barb? Sorry.
It was just like that part had confused me when I looked at it before because I
Have yes and no and group and no, right?
yeah, no, and then group, but yes on the cash value and my understanding of the differences.
Yeah. I should put yes, no on there, but most of the people that we're dealing with, I was trying to keep it simple. Yes, most of the people that we're dealing with are never going to get to a point where their cash value is going to build up where they can use it anyway.
Right.
Just
And
not
then
gonna
AARP works with MetLife, so that's the main underwriter. They don't do their own independent insurance, kind of like with the Hartford for
because they're
auto.
not an insurance company. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So you'll run into that.
Yeah. But at least you have this you can point at and to explain to people that your premium is going to go up once you hit a certain age. It's going to go up every 5 years. And then here's another thing. A lot of times they have no idea which program they're even buying, which creates confusion, right? We're simple. One company doing one thing, doing it great, taking care of our customers, no voice, all that stuff. All right.
Um,
Or Ben, sorry. Thought you had a question.
well, two things. This is me assuming, but I'm assuming none of these companies are gonna do what Lincoln did and call your beneficiary or whatever and try and find out that you were dead. It seems like these types of policies, probably the family members are gonna have no idea they even have them, and it's probably gonna be hard to even get the money. Is that right?
That's where the 7 billion comes into play. Now, I want to be fully transparent. I've represented lots of companies. I don't know what their process is for what they do. Is there an outreach program to say, hey, we saw there's a database and all these people in St. Louis, Missouri passed away. We're going to try to reach out. I think that's absolutely tremendous. Like, I've never heard anything like that. Can I say that all of these companies on here or the other 1,000 plus 1,400 companies in the country that offer final expense do that? I don't know, but I can't say they don't either.
How would the family even know they have it with these kind of things if it's like tied in with other stuff? Like, what is there even an easy way for them to find out? It's like do they get an actual policy like?
Oh yeah, they 100%. They have to legally get a policy in the mail. The problem is people take them and stick them in their kitchen drawer, and the family members don't know they have them. That's what happens. I guarantee you, some of you guys have written policies, and the person says, "I don't tell my kids. I don't want to tell my kids, or don't call the beneficiary," because they think that they're going to try to do something to them or whatever the case is, which is weird, but the people do that. So every policy sold, yes, they have to send out the policy information in the mail. But the thing is, that's why what we do in reference to calling beneficiaries is so important. Hey, Ben, my name is Corey. Your grandmother took a policy out on herself. She mentioned listed you as the beneficiary. Love to get together, get together with you and go over the information. I cannot tell you how much coverage she got, but I just wanted to make sure you have my information and that you know what to do, in light of something happening to her and her passing away. That's it.
Also, when employees get like group policies through their employer, they don't have like an individual policy. Because I worked with a client once who she had hers because she worked for AT&T, and so she was grandfathered, like her life insurance policy was fully paid for and carried over, but she had no paperwork on it because, and like, that was the one where I spent 4 hours on the phone with her trying to get the information about her other policies, and had the ones that she could get the policy sent out, we had those sent out, but for that one it was the biggest pain in the ass. I don't know how her family will know how to file the claim afterwards because it took forever just for her to figure out who it was underwritten with and how for her to get the information.
That's the
But
union one?
huh?
That the union one?
It was through no, it was AT&T, so she did have a union, but it wasn't a union policy. It was just AT&T, but it was through MetLife. But when we finally got and we got rerouted like 3 or 4 times to like the HR person and the retirement benefits back to MetLife, and nobody could tell us like where to get the policy from. And finally they were like, oh yeah, because it's a group policy, like we don't issue an actual policy for that.
Yeah. So what they legally they have to issue a policy, but what they do is when you sign up and you go through all the stuff, you click the disclosure, basically saying if you want it, you can reach out to us, you have access, or you can log in through our system or portal or whatever the case is. By the way, we have portals like that for our clients. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. We actually have client portals. So again, when people have this stuff through their work, they click the buttons, they go through, they make all their elections, and after they make their elections, they hit the button and it goes into the portal, and then they can log into the portal and pull up all their policy information. Most people don't. They just don't do it. So yeah, something like a union and having a policy in place, that's completely different. Like trying to they'll give you an 800 number and then basically tell you figure it out.
Yeah.
Exactly correct. Good stuff. What other questions before I let you guys go? Dalton, you got anything?
So with the term to 80, it's after 80 that it jumps to like 200 from the yes? Is that
No, it ends at age 80. So so for a term, it's set up, it's kind of predatory, right? So you'll see term to 80, 85, 90. I've seen as high as I used to sell term to 100 with a previous carrier. And so with the average age of death being 76, after age 60, it's really hard to get a term product. Most carriers, if you're age 60, the most they'll extend is probably 15 years. But senior shop on price. So Globe kind of takes advantage of that, but in the small print and the disclaimer and the paperwork they never read, it'll slowly creep up more and more. It's every 5 years, so it could be like $75 a month this year, then it could be 120, and then it'll jump up to 170, and they'll terminate at age 80. So after age 80, they don't have coverage.
Okay.
Does that
Okay,
make
got it.
sense?
Yeah, so it's like the incremental starts at 5 years, start at age 60.
No. I was just using that as an example.
Okay, okay, I got
Sorry, I
it.
didn't mean to confuse you.
Let me
No,
no.
okay.
Let me make this even clearer. No, Ben, what you said was spot on. If somebody tells you, or if you're having that conversation with people and you let them know, like typically what happens, Dalton, is usually around age 70, 65, 70, 75, they'll start to see those 5 year jumps. But if they have a policy, you literally can open it up and flip through it. The first 7 pages of any final expense policy, it's called legalese. They have to write it in a place where a normal person can read it and understand it. So even you being new, I guarantee if they pull out the policy, you're going to be able to flip through those first couple pages and you'll see it. You'll literally see, and you will literally see, it'll say 60 to 65, and the premium you'll go from 75, as Benji mentioned, it'll go to 120. And then it'll go 65 to 70, and it'll go 214. And then it'll go to 75 to 80, $290. And then it'll go 80 plus, it either ends or the premium is so high they won't take it anyway. And they know that. They can't afford it. Because
Or
anybody doing
go
that,
ahead.
they probably already have their stuff taken care of from retirement or whatever, or they're not going to be able to afford it anyway. That's where we come into play because they stay on the books forever. Benji, go
Or
ahead.
they took out the policy when they were 30, 40 years old, and even with the 5 year jumps, it's still cheap. And then when they get up there in the age, it also doesn't have cash value as well. So I ran into a lot of people were terminate it. So the question you have to tell them is, it's kind of like gambling, right? It's a casino. When do you think you're going to die, right? That's that's the blunt way to I've done it. So I've had people saying when I was at my previous company, no, we'll just keep it, you know, going on. And then there's some people who they just can't afford it anymore and they're trying to find what a different option is. And then they even get shocked sometimes because they're, older in age, right? So
Yeah, if you're ever in
with
a
new
that spot
policies.
and you're fortunate enough for somebody to pull their policy out, call me. I don't care what company it is, I'll be able to walk you through it because it's the first couple pages. Ours included. I think ours is page like 3 or 4. Mary and I went to this one lady, and I know Ben and Mary tried to go back and get her back on the books, but there's a lady with all the ducks, Mary. She literally, we even asked for it. She pulled it out. It was the cover page. It was the first actual page of the policy. She had no medical conditions, and I think it said graded or whatever it said, decreasing or graded, whatever it was. It was literally on the top of the page, and it showed first year, second year, third year. It literally showed what she'd be paid out. And I showed it to her and was like, this is what you have. Well, that's not what they told me. I know that's not what they told you, but this is what you have. And then with us, you get day one coverage, which means if you go to sleep tonight and don't wake up tomorrow, your family's going to get paid without all the rigmarole and jumping. And when you turn 80, it's $500 a month and you can't afford it. What's the point in that? If you're 60 now and you buy it 20 years from now, you're going to have a pretty decent amount. You could have $3, $4, $5,000 of cash value in there. So when people say they're going to wait or they're going to put it in save it or whatever the case are, I'm like, ma'am, you're 78 years old. You've outlived the game anyway. You're 2 years past the deal. And if you haven't started saving, what bank is going to give you 10% or 20% or 30%? Because if they are, let me know because I got money to invest in it for sure. All right. Let me stop sharing here. This is good. Good, good, good. All right. Let's go. Benji, what are you shooting for today?
1 for 1.
Love it. Mary? Almost.
I'd love you on mute. I don't know, 2 for 2.
2. I'm jealous of your Snuggie, Mary. Mine's in the washer.
Other thing goes down to my knees.
I have a dark. Mine goes down pretty far too. I have a dark gray one that somebody got me one time as a joke, and I'm like, that's stupid, and now I wear it all the time. All right, Barb, what are you shooting for?
One
Thanks
for
for
one.
one. Got it. Ben,
2 for 2.
I figured you'd say. And then Dalton, what we do, I'm not gonna put you on the spot today. I'll let you talk to Ben about that. What we do at the end is just take your goal for today. So what 1 for 1 means is one family for $1,000. 2 would be 2 families for $2,000, et cetera. That's what we mean by that. So average policy across the country, as I mentioned, is 60 to 65 bucks a month, which is $720 of annual premium. So not gonna put you in the spot. I'll let Ben talk to you about that. But that when we get to the end of the meeting, we do that. That's what we're talking about. Awesome stuff. Anybody have anything that you need? Any questions? Anything that you need help with? Stuff at the door? When you get into home, you guys know you guys can call. I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm waiting for my car to get fixed, but I'll be back out there with you guys. I'll be your spirit animal there with you. All right. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate your time. Thanks for all you do. And let me know if you need anything. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck, everyone.